Hello and welcome back to the second part of Computercraft For Dummies. Today I will be telling you about the if commands of the computer, which come in very useful for simple programming. So if we just edit test. Now let's say we want to distinguish a name, for instance. So first of all, let's start with saying something to the user. So print, and let's say please enter your name. There we go. Then we'll just close that and like that. So that will display something to the user. Please enter your name. Then what we're going to do is we need to make the computer understand an input. So the way we're going to do that is read. Now there's a nice little command called read. You could use io.read, which is that, and it does basically the same thing. It is slightly different though. It does do a I'm not quite sure about the difference, but personally I just use read. Now read is an API which will it will take whatever you input in, and it will it basically stores the information short term. It doesn't actually save it. But we need to make this a variable. So let's call this let's just give it a random variable of x. X is equal to read. Okay, that's good. So let's start our if statement. Now an if always needs an end, so if we do if, then we go down one line and end. If you're always wondering how I'm going down lines, it's just using the enter key. So if x, which is our variable up here, is equal to and then what do we want the input to be? If x is equal to James, which is my name, then do stuff. Else, if it's not equal to James, basically, then do stuff. And now it should end it. So if we do test, I'm not quite sure if this will run. No. Oh, yeah. One other thing that I keep forgetting recently is that when you're doing if statements, you need to make sure you do to the value of. So if x is equal to, rather than just one equals, it needs two equals, James, then do something. If you're gonna do for instance, if I just do something random down here, if x is not equal to, basically this funny symbol here means if it is not, and then equal to James. So if it's not equal to James, then do stuff. But I just want if it is. Also, you could use an else if, and that works by doing else if x is equal to Jake, for instance. If x is equal to Jake, then do stuff, and then end the if statement. If it's not, then it probably will come up with an error message. But to start off with, we'll just be just doing a simple else with the if. So if x is equal to James, then do stuff. You must make sure you have two equals always, otherwise it doesn't work. Please enter your name. So I'm going to write something random. Add into ends because we've got nothing on in our if statements. Edit test. So let's make this a hi print hi there, x should be equal to James. So else we're going to want to print x would not be equal to James, and that'll do. So if we run test, please enter your name, something random. X would not be equal to James. Sorry, spelled that incorrectly. Let's run it again. Now if we type James, it fails. Okay. Let's try just taking the capital out. That can occasionally confuse it. James. Okay, there's something that's... If X is equal to James, then do stuff. Else... That's odd. That should be working. Oh, no, I know why it isn't. Now, because you're not saying is X is equal to a variable, as you probably learned in my other lesson, you have to have the two quotation marks over it, otherwise it doesn't work. So now if we do it, James, hi there, X should be equal to James, test, just type something random, X would not be equal to that. So that's a simple if statement, and you could make that, for instance, do a quick password system. So our password would be, please enter your password if input is equal to James, which could be the password, then print hi there, password word accepted, then that'll be it. Else just print incorrect, so print incorrect, and then we can make that sleep for, let's say, 2, and we can then make it so sleep basically it stops it basically makes the computer do nothing for 2 seconds. Then we can do shell.run, which is an API, and as an API it needs 2 brackets. And now what file do we want to run? Well, we're not running a variable which would have the file name, so we're just going to have these two things here, and the name's test, so we put test in there, and that should run. Okay, so run test, please enter your password, something random, incorrect, it will sleep for 2 seconds, and it reruns. Type in the right password, hi there, password accepted. So that's basics on variable, not variables, if statements. Anything else I can show you? Oh yeah, I might as well just show you the difference between print and write. Right, so print, basically after you finish the text that it's designed to print, it will then automatically append a new line. As you can see, I'm writing on the line underneath, please enter your password. But if we were to make that a write, edit this, if we were to put write instead of print, then it won't append a new line. Test, then and as you can see, it now is still on the same line. I think, if I'm right, although I'm not quite sure, to get a new line using write, you have to do, it might be in slash or something. Okay, well maybe it isn't. I'm not quite sure. Maybe. Well, I don't really know, but I'll just use print if you want to make it do a new line. Oh, also, if you were to do this, you'd have to leave a gap, because otherwise it connects to the colon. So if we now do test, it now leaves a gap between the colon and where you're going to write. So that's basic, simple stuff on if statements. Thank you for listening. Check out the other ones. Part 1 will be in the left, and part 2 is on the right. See you next time.